me. I wasn't born here, but I got here quicker than I could. Okay, I been the mayor the last 4 years, and I don't know, is this the time we're gonna tell what we done or what?
You can tell about yourself and what you've done.
Okay. Well, I just recently signed a little over $5 million worth of federal grants here in the city with the help of the city council. And one of them was a grant for $4 million that we were turned down, denied. And I got word from the grant people, and I challenged it with the state, and they looked it over and granted it to us later. That will be include a new water tower located close to this facility here. Big ground storage at the water wells. It'll replace the water storage tank on Rockdale Street and several feet of main line here in town. This last week I met with, well, it was yesterday, we met with the grant people, engineers, and the construction company is going to start next week working on our sidewalk on Railroad Street. That project will take a few days to do that. But in the next several years, we're going in, I'd say the next 3 or 4 years, there's going to be a lot of activity going around here. And I'd like to also tell you that one of the first things that I implemented when I become mayor was building a facility for our gasoline and diesel behind the PD, and took up all the credit cards, and we got a accounting system there. The dispatcher releases all the fuel and makes, records it. Also, during this last couple of years, Mr. Jones and I met with the city works director, and we had problems out at the sewer plant, and one of our clarifiers went down. Instead of hiring the company that normally does the work, we decided that we'd do it and save the taxpayers probably $40,000 to $50,000. And right now, at the same time, we've got the other one down, so we're going to do it too.
All right, Jimmy?
Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy McCasland. I first want to thank everybody for coming out and the host for having the event. It's good to get the information out here for everybody. It's a good thing. I'm originally from Trinity. I'm a 4th generation. From what I know, I'm 4th generation Trinity citizen. My mother, I'm a father of my mother, my stepfather over here. My father was in politics for a little while here, school board, whatnot. I'm a father of 3 myself now. I'm running for mayor because at this point, there's been a lot of issues with the water systems, the infrastructure. I think there are preventative maintenance plans, and you need a preventative plan rather than, I feel like everything has been pretty reactive. I would like to implement those plans, come up with a structured way to tackle them. I feel like within our city we need to somewhat reconstruct the way that too much responsibility is leaning on too few people. I feel like that needs to be spread out. There needs to be some sort of a system put in place for, we've got too many infrastructure problems with our roads. As you guys can tell, I'm public speaking to me. I would like to see, rather than us spending so much money to patchwork the system that we have. I feel like we should have, this should be more revenue. We shouldn't be looking at the water system and saying, what do we need to do to fix the problem for safe drinking water? We should have, over the last 10, 15 years, and I know that that doesn't really reflect on anybody, we should have had a plan, because we should be contracting our water out to our neighbors. That should be revenue for us. It shouldn't be and the same thing goes, how do you bring in a tax base with businesses and whatnot when you don't have the proper water system or infrastructure to, it seems to be failing. I hate to say that. It's nobody's fault. One thing I do see tonight here at this meeting is a lot of unity. Everybody has a lot of ideas. It seems like they're good ideas. I don't feel like it's anyone's fault, but here's what I do think. You need a mayor, and this is my goal, that will stand up and lead those to say, hey, we need unity. We need to find out what each of us.
They're going to make me stand up. My name's Billy Gooden. My family moved here in 1968, and I went to school here. I married Rhonda McGinnis Gooden after I got out of high school, and I was married to her for 40 years until she passed away in 2017. We owned Trinity Florists and Gifts, so I know what it's like to have a small business in town. My degree, I have a degree in applied science, and I've taken many classes and lots of continuing education in quality management, performance improvement, data analysis, and things like that. I am a certified medical technologist through the American Society of Clinical Pathologists, and also the American Medical Technologists. I was the lab director for East Texas Medical Center, and I took the one in Trinity in 1997, and in 2003 I also took over the one in Huntsville. So I have a lot of experience with quality management, performance improvement, and things like that. And all the things that we've discussed tonight, I'm glad that we've got grants, and I'm glad we got some things that we're going to do. However, we have to look at the infrastructure that's crumbling, our streets that are in bad shape, our low employee morale, high turnover rates, sewer problems, garbage truck problems. All of those are all signs of poor quality management. If you don't believe me, you can look the word signs of poor quality management and you can see what those are. We need to devise a quality plan for our city that incorporates every aspect of our city, our employees, our infrastructure, our processes, our equipment, our finances, and most of all, our outcomes, because that's what our drive should be, is our customer satisfaction. And I'm calling you customers. I've been around the hospital so long, I may call you patients. But we should do everything that we do. We should drive toward your satisfaction and providing quality goods and services and needs for our community. That should be what drives everything we do. You know, we can put all new things in, but if we don't maintain and have
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Mayor, you get the first question. And that's, are there laws or ordinances that are currently in place that you feel should be altered, removed, or added? And if so, what would that be?
I'm gonna have to ask you, step over here and repeat that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't understand
are there laws or ordinances that need to be changed or added to? Laws or ordinances that need to be changed or added to? And what would you do to do that? If there's laws that need to be changed, or something that's not a good law, or something that needs to be added, a new law?
I hadn't stated that now. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna lie to none of you about nothing like that.
Okay,
Now, as far as the laws that's on the books and the ordinances,
right,
I had the ordinance book redone in 1980. Man, when I was there before, that was in 80.
right,
So, the ordinance book and all the ordinances that's been put in since then are recorded that way.
okay,
Now, I'd have to go over them before I could give you an answer on that,
okay.
okay?
Thank you. Question number, okay. Next, Jimmy, give one example of how you can attract new business to Trinity.
One example of the way that I would attract new business to Trinity is, I know we do have a Chamber of Commerce. I think we need a more, within our city structure, we've got, you've got your mayor, your employees, and you have your city council. We need more boards. Our Economic Development Committee that is here, I feel like they do a lot, but there needs to be more communication and transparency between the city council, the city, the businesses, and those entities. We have to get our water system correct, our infrastructure. You can't necessarily expect businesses to want to move into your town until you're up to par and you have something to offer. That increases your tax base. Another way, I personally, I think that with that, as a mayor, it's more, in my opinion, you need to oversee and lead those below to reach those avenues for those things. Animal control, that, your infrastructure, your parks and rec. I think there needs to be there needs to be a water board. But yes, for businesses, Trinity should be. I mean, the Houston Metro is growing up this way. We're a lake community. People are moving. Businesses are going to come in, but they're going to move outside to Sebastopol, Carlisle, Riverside, unless we can get our system straight here. So.
Thank you. And Billy, do you feel the community is involved with important decisions that affect the city, and how would you go about generating more involvement with your constituents?
I think we have some that do, but I think that we need to involve our city. You know, if we're going to devise quality measures and things like that that affect what we do for them, they need to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what we're doing to maintain and to make sure that what we provide to them is quality and good services. I would like to involve citizens in committees and things like to beautify the town, to listen to them, you know, because sometimes when we get in office, we forget what the perception is from a voter's point of view. And we have to go back and never forget that and remember that. And I think we need more communication with our community so they feel like they're a part of what we do and that they can contribute to what we do. Because, I mean, they need to have more of a voice than just a vote every year. You know, we need to listen and give them avenues so that we can communicate. We need communication across all aspects of the city, especially the people we serve.
Thank you. Mayor, we've been talking a lot about infrastructure, and so my question is, basically, it's a huge topic, so name the two that you feel are most important to Trinity right now.
Infrastructure?
Infrastructure, yes.
Well, the roads has got to be fixed, and we got the money to do a bunch of it now. We're just fixing to bid the streets out. Also, they're talking about this water situation. We pretty much got it under control. I just signed a 35-year contract with TRA, And, we're laying a new water line to tie it into our other system, so, our sewer and water and streets is, to my opinion, would be our main goal on that.
Thank you. Okay, Jimmy, do you think allowing new business in our community is economically stimulating and necessary? Or do you think that it can fundamentally wreck our small town way of life?
Well, this may, I don't know if it's the most popular opinion. I believe that you should look out for the interests of the business owners and the citizens of your community. I want to preserve the small town feel of Trinity. But I also look at things from a perspective of no matter what we do, it's going to grow. So we either meet in the middle, we find a common ground to preserve what we can, or we lose it all. Because those individuals are going to come up here and they're going to run for offices. I would like to protect that. I think that you implement ordinances and different and such to try to control what you can and can't, and zoning areas. There's all kinds of areas within the city that need to be that I look at that can prevent certain things that you may not want. So to answer the question, yes, business growth is good. Outside, you want outside business. I don't see it as a negative for the businesses that are here. You look into, if you start studying, and I don't know everything about business, but from, it's a proven fact. You've got one furniture store, you've got 3 furniture stores. Everybody, you will gain more out of, you feed off of each other. So yes, I believe that bringing in more business is a good thing. Outside, I believe in bringing everything up to par inside for the businesses that are here, and I do think that it will benefit both sides.
Okay. And Billy, would you be willing to implement term limits for both city council members and for mayor?
Well, I guess that depends. It's hard to get some people in a small town to run. We have lots of elections here in our small towns, and nobody ever, runs. This year we've had quite a few, but there's a lot of times when no one runs. I know I wouldn't care because I don't have plans to be a lifetime politician. I plan to retire and I'd like to enjoy life a little bit, and I think it would bring some variety, maybe some new blood, but I guess it's a two-edged sword. If you've got people in there that are doing their job and really making progress, it could be a bad thing. But if you've got stalemate and things that are not happening, or people that are not representing you, like you feel they should, it could be an option. I really don't have enough data on that to say yes or no. I mean, I think we just have to be depending on the situation and the what the people want. That's what counts, is what they want.
All right. In the other 2 groups, we asked a question for all 3 of them, or all 6 of them, and they all answered it. I saved that question for last because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm going to start with the mayor and ask this final question. And you'll all answer the same question, so give it some thought, guys. As mayor, what is your role in city government, and where does the buck stop?
Buck stops at his desk, I'll tell you now. Well, the way I look at it, you have to provide the service. That's all we got to sell. Plus, there's many things that happen during the week and night. It doesn't matter. You got to answer the call. And I'm willing to say that being available, being dedicated, it takes time to do it. It's a thankless job if you really get down to it. And most of the time, all you hear is complaints. You don't ever get hardly ever get a thank you out of it. I've been doing it for not just the mayor's job, but I sat on the city council most of the time since 1970, so I've seen a few come and I've seen them go. I've served under 4 mayors, so I know what it takes to provide the service. One of the things that I really believe in is giving the service plus keeping the tax rate low, and the services like water, sewer, and trash low as we can, because of the people that's on fixed income here. A lot of people don't have the money to pay a big price, and I always take that into consideration. So that's about the basic of it, ma'am.
Thank you. Jimmy, same question. You want me to repeat it?
Yes, ma'am, if you don't mind.
As mayor, what is your role in city government, and where does the buck stop?
As the mayor, your role, well, first and foremost is example and servitude. You should serve your community, and lead by example. Leadership is primary. You need to. I've been sitting here listening to all the matters tonight, and the one thing I can say is I feel like, and I touched on this earlier, we all have different ideas, but getting there, I think that is the mayor's role. Lead your council. And as far as lead your council, lead your citizens, and I do believe, all respect to everyone who served here, you got to look to the positive. I think that being a positive influence as a mayor is a huge thing. Looking at the negatives, I think Bubba may have touched on it earlier. You can't go forward unless you collectively can look, unless you can see the positive. The other, as far as where the buck stops, we're your citizens. If you're here, I'm here for me as a mayor, if that was what it were. I'm here for you guys. So when you say it's time to stop, or this is what you want, or what you do not want, I've got to listen. And there is no end to that.
Thank you. Go ahead, Bill.
I think the role of the mayor is to build a team. I think that he should utilize the expertise. You know, each individual council member has an expertise in some field or something that they do good. You should utilize those assets and build together a team that works together, that's open, that you share information with, and you listen and be able to listen to people and listen to their ideas. Because sometimes you may have a good idea, but a piece of their idea may not be perfect, but a piece of it might make might make your idea perfect. And where the buck stops, I think the buck stops with the whole team. We're supposed to work together as a team. We're supposed to work together to make decisions. And I think that when you work together and you get ideas from each other, you know, I think we all bear a burden when something goes right or when it goes wrong, or the credit when something goes right. So I would think that as a council and a team, because, you know, the mayor, he's the leader, but the council pretty much makes the decisions. So I think we should, you know, that would be a share, where the buck stops should be with the entire team.
Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And thank you all for coming tonight. You've been amazing. And next time we'll probably start just a little earlier with this.